Yeah.
I almost forgot this.
You gonna need the mic, yo.
Who's really listening anyway?
Hopefully somebody.
My mom don't even listen.
Mommy. Hey, man.
Doesn't matter.
It is what it is, as they say.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Orange Men Podcast. Dave and Clint here with you on a Friday night, spinning the truth, saying the truth, as we see it, as we say it, whether you like it or not. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Orange Men. Joining us in our relentless pursuit of the truth. Amen to that. A little more rock and roll. I'm going to need another beer. This one's half gone.
You were thirsty. It's been a long week.
Long week. Long week, everybody.
Shouldn't be drowning your sorrows in alcohol, Dave. I guess it's not sorrows.
That's not what I do.
You had some good news this week, so you're celebrating.
I am in a celebratory mood. But enough about me.
Enough about that.
Happy Friday, everybody. How you doing there, Clint?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Fantastic. Before we get started, I'd like to send our prayers and well wishes out to the people of Florida.
Yeah, they'll be okay.
Well, it's just a lot of devastation from what I've seen down there, so
Yeah.
be safe and remember we're all Americans and take care of one another and help each other out.
Yeah, and it looks like everybody's doing that. A lot of people are reaching out through social media.
Yes.
People are helping each other.
Yes.
It's a good thing. The sad part is that, you got these libtards, the left,
Yeah.
Trying to spin this as a global warming
Correct.
phenomenon.
Yeah.
And nothing could be further from the truth. And it really grinds my gears. Pisses me off.
Wow, I mean, it's the grift, man. It's the grift du jour. You know what I mean? You gotta. Now we're on to climate change and climate lockdowns and all this other stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, hurricanes have been recorded through how many years now? Like,
Well, listen, they've been all through recorded and non-recorded history,
yeah.
and they'll continue to do so for the rest of the recorded history
Yes.
and non-recorded history, should that happen.
Does the government have the ability to manipulate weather? Probably.
No, but the funny thing is they act like they do,
No, they do.
and they talk about, hey, if we would have done this, if we would have spent this money, if we'd have done that. There's nothing that they could have done to change this, to stop this hurricane from hitting Florida. There's nothing.
It's a natural disaster.
There's nothing you can do to prevent any hurricane.
Well, any weather.
Or any
Tornadoes.
storm. Or any right. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. And the fact that people are out there, yeah, we could have saved everybody. We could get rid of all hurricanes. It's just nonsense.
Right.
It's absolute nonsense. That's just like saying, if we spend $11 billion, we can prevent the sun from rising. It's insanity. Yet people jump on this freaking bandwagon.
Well,
if there's any truth to it. I don't know what people are thinking. They're nuts.
I was watching. I happened to catch the weather, the local weather, and the high in 1883 was 97 degrees on Tuesday.
Yeah, what was causing global warming back then?
That's it. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like the record high and a record low. Like it's an ebb and flow of the weather. It's the way it goes. And even this summer, like they had the big push during that, I guess it was 2 weeks.
Heat wave, yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks where it was like,
oh my God, it's 90 degrees in the summer. Oh shit, no kidding.
I know. We reached triple digits.
And then as soon as we get a snowstorm, it's going to be global warming.
Yeah.
Every fucking weather event.
I saw.
God, it's just insane.
I think it was Alan from The Great Divide, shout out. He put on his Instagram, like, where are the solar panels on Barack, Joe Biden's house, Bill Gates' house? Like, we're so concerned, and we're worried about water levels. I know we played the Dan Pena thing a couple months ago where he's calling bullshit because the insurance companies. Probably like now, if you're in a flood zone in Florida, guess what? Your insurance probably wasn't going to pay for your house being destroyed because they know better.
Well, these libtards are buying mansions on the water.
Yes. Well, the global...
Yeah, it's like...
climate people.
It's where people want to be, first of all.
Yes.
And they know the risk. Listen, Manhattan's below sea level.
Has been.
Yeah, for a long time. It's not even a real island. It's man-made.
Well, I know somebody put up like
it might not make a big storm.
Somebody put up like where the Statue of Liberty is, and it was like, yeah, the water level hasn't changed in whatever the first picture of the Statue of Liberty was. You know what I mean? Like,
well, these people have been crying about the end of the world since the 60s.
Yes.
In 10 years, the world's going to end. Well, in 10 more years, the world's going to end. 1980 hits. 10 years, the world's going to end. And it never ends. It never ends. And yet, people don't look back and go, well, these fucking people have been lying to us for 50 years.
I mean, yeah, that's just it. These people, I mean, look at the last 2.5 years. All the lies. From the government. Both sides. You know what I mean? Whatever. Take it as it is. But these last 2 years with this guy in charge, I mean, we sent another $12 billion to Ukraine.
That's in that government bill, right? To keep the government open?
How come it's not?
He didn't sign it yet.
Well, he'll sign it.
Oh, no kidding.
But they sent, on top of the $12 billion, they sent a billion off to the side. That was already like cut out. That wasn't even a part of that.
What are they doing with all this money?
How come they can't stop the war? You know what I mean? We're at what, 80, 60, 70, $80 billion now?
That's a good point. All they do is throw money around.
Our money.
Yeah.
And
nothing ever changes.
Joe's providing $11 billion a year to poor countries to help fight climate change. He pledged to do that. It's not coming out of his pocket. He doesn't have $11 billion to go, hey.
Well, does anybody think that money is actually going to go to anything worthwhile?
No, it's getting funneled back to these guys and their LLCs and their corporations. And listen, if you don't think that's the case, then you're a moron. There's a reason why.
A moron.
There's a reason why these people are millionaires. Not a million, millions
Billions.
of heirs. I mean,
Millions
Joe Biden has 3 houses. His brother has 3 houses. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy enough to look up. Just do it.
Well, nobody will.
And nobody's checking their taxes but Trump. We need his taxes. He's bad.
Need to get that guy. God, I hope he gets back in.
Yeah, I mean,
we need help.
Prayers up.
Somebody save us.
I don't know if he's going to save us, but.
Well, I don't know that he can. I mean,
that's kind of what we talked about.
The swamp is deep, and it's full of monsters.
Well, that's the point. That's what I'm saying about this $12 billion. Like, it's Republicans and Democrats. Like, where are the Republicans going like, dude, we got to stop funding this money.
Well,
we got to stop giving these guys weapons.
Yeah, I know.
You can't tell me no Republican signed it.
Well, it was split between party lines. This bill to keep the government open, they added the $12 billion to that. And no Republican signed it. But all the libtards signed it. So we're going to keep the government open until December 16th. But we got an extra $12 billion going. Why don't you just leave that here and fund the government? None of it makes any sense.
Because that's all they keep doing is they just keep.
But how much money do we have? Is it endless?
Obviously. Well, this is what I was trying to say to you months ago when I said we are the tax debt slaves to this government because, and you can only, like, there's ways to pay down or pay less or, listen, don't pay it at all, whatever. That's on you. But that's just it. Like, how much, if they have this much money to just throw away every year, I mean, this guy, every week he's getting a new $1 billion.
Yeah, we got to build a wall around the entire United States with the money they're spending. And they're worried about Trump's border wall?
$5 billion he wanted.
God.
Well, that's what I mean. And it's frustrating because, listen, I don't mind keeping the government open, but you're wasting money. Billions of dollars a year. Trillions of dollars. And yet, we paid down the deficit. Okay.
We reduced the deficit.
Whatever they did. Dave, also, I wanted to bring up, we surpassed our 2-year mark.
What are you talking about?
Of our podcast.
It's our second anniversary? Our second birthday?
It was like last week, I guess, we started. I think it was like September 2020, something like that.
Really?
So, yes, thank you. Well, that was when we started the audio version. The video version, I think we started around right before the election. So maybe like mid-October.
Yeah, that's when I didn't realize you can get thrown off of YouTube. Boy, that was fun.
But you can find most of our videos up on our Rumble channel.
Yeah, I think...
and all the Patriot Podcast Network on your Roku devices.
It's funny, you can see the progression that we made. It's a slow progression, but we did make one. I watch all these other podcasts. Everybody's so produced and polished, and they got all their information, all their ducks in a row, and they got little clips popping in and out. They're really good.
Well, we do that.
Yeah, well.
We just started. Listen, you got a full-time job. I got a full-time job. And
okay, that's true. This isn't our full-time job.
We spend about 2 hours a week doing this part.
I barely know how to work half this stuff.
The research is all week long.
And clearly, you don't know how to work anything.
What are you talking about?
You plug the camera into the wrong thing.
All right, man. What do I know? I'm a noob.
Nothing. Not enough. All right, what do you want to talk about, man? You want to? Oh, well, we were just talking about stuff, but you want to?
Yeah, let's get into this Philadelphia thing. I know. I mean, it made a big splash this week with the scrimmage where the kids got shot at, and then there was
one died.
Yeah, and then there was like an 8-year-old kid that got shot in the beginning of at the beginning of the weekend last week, and then a 2-year-old got shot while in their homes, and yet they want to tell you that
who shoots a 2-year-old?
No, it just was a stray bullet. It wasn't like
that kid's pissing me off.
Yeah, it wasn't. But that's an 85-year-old man got beat up at the mall over here and robbed.
I know.
But yeah, it's.
Would you hear about that woman that I guess in the New York subway she took a severe beating. I think she's gonna lose her eye. At the hands of a guy who was let out of jail after he killed his mother.
I did see that.
Hey, let's let him out.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Well, that's these policies that they're doing, and you got Fetterman and you got Krasner, and I know
let them all out of jail.
This is our state, so we're speaking from knowledge of here in PA and Philly and Pittsburgh. So, I mean, these guys, the fact that they can just defend it, and then like with Krasner. He blames the NRA and the Republicans for what's going on.
They also blame COVID.
Yeah, I know. Because that was part of it. So because they were releasing because they were releasing criminals and stuff.
Because of COVID?
Yeah, because it was like, oh well, he's a nonviolent offender or he's a second-degree rapist, so he doesn't need to be in here. Let's release some of these people. But it's their dumb policies and their. I don't know. He tries to defend it, saying.
Well, let's listen. How about we watch, too?
All right. So it starts out with, I guess, the 5 picked up on the story, but it has Krasner in it. So, yeah, let's listen up, and we'll move along. And we got some clips for you.
Crime is a top issue for voters, and it could be tipping the scales in one of the most watched Senate races in the country. Dr. Oz picking up steam in his Senate race against Democrat John Fetterman in Pennsylvania. A new Fox News poll has the Fetterman-Oz race narrowing, with Dr. Oz picking up 5 points since July. And as Jen Psaki said, crime is a huge liability for the Democratic Party. It's so bad that John Fetterman has removed mentions of Black Lives Matter and his Second Chances program from his campaign website in the last month. That's according to a review of archived web pages. And violence has been exploding in the state's largest city of Philadelphia. More than 1,700 people have been shot, and homicides have taken the lives of 400 people so far this year. Radical DA Larry Krasner recently called out on this, but he's standing firm on his policies.
It is working. The reality is that our
1,000 people killed in 20 months.
it is working. The reality is, when you look at all these different jurisdictions, we have had a devastating blow from the pandemic, and there is absolutely no correlation between being progressive or traditional and the rate of crime. These states in the United States that have a rate of homicide that is 40% higher are MAGA states. They are Trump states.
That's the safe harbor, Judge. When you're under fire, just call people, just go to Trump and see if you can get cover that way.
First of all, the governor doesn't control the police in individual cities in an individual state. So get off the MAGA states. That's number one. Number two, this DA is an idiot. He says there is no correlation between crime and an aggressive and a traditional versus a progressive DA. I'm going to tell you what the correlation is. The progressive DA wants to let the criminal out. The traditional DA wants to lock him up and throw away the key and make sure that he pays for the crime that he commits. All right, that's real simple. So Krasner's out of his mind. Just like Mike Jarrett said, 1,000 people killed and shot in the last 20 months, and this guy says we're improving. It's like Lori Lightfoot saying we're making progress. No, you're not. You're making excuses, and I'm tired of the pandemic being an excuse or a justification for crime. If it is, pass a law. Make it a justification for a crime. And finally, my last point is this, that Fetterman, who wants to release second-degree murderers, people convicted of second-degree murder, he is a big Black Lives Matter guy, which kind of surprises me because he took a gun and chased an African-American kid and then held him until police came and decided he was innocent, but that's a whole other issue. He takes Black Lives Matter off of his website, and he says, and his press person says, no, we didn't. Well, they did. They took it off the issues page. I have the issues page here. There's no Black Lives Matter. And instead, they included it down in the middle of another thing about gun violence, and they just say Black Lives Matter and these communities matter.
Harold, one of the things that Dr. Oz is...
All right. That's enough of that nonsense. So, Mike Jarrett said 1,000 people shot in 20 months.
Correct. No, 1,000 people killed.
It's 1,000 already?
It's 1,000 in 20 months.
1,000?
She said it was 1,700 people that were shot and wounded.
Right. Okay, so 1,000 people killed in 20 months. And Krasner's answer to that was, it's working.
Yeah.
It's working.
Well, it's... It's the police reform that's working. It's it's...
What's fucking working?
Nothing, because this, like I just said, the city's terrible.
Well, how do you answer that question with it's working?
Well, because he tried to explain it because it's MAGA states. And, instead of him...
If you had a magic wand and you could...
run down what states you're talking about and what state is it and what cities are in those states. Because I can probably guarantee you that the state may be MAGA.
Well, let's just talk about the biggest murder cities. Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Well, New Orleans is up there now, and she's the mayor down there is pissed off because she's like, this is shining a bad light.
Philadelphia. Who's running the state?
Wolf.
A libtard.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a liberal state.
Krasner's also a Soros-backed district attorney.
Yeah. Chicago.
Lightfoot.
Illinois.
That's
libtard.
Putzger, or whatever his name is.
A libtard.
Yeah.
So
Maryland is red if you go with Baltimore, but it's also Hogan, and he's not a Trump guy.
What about like Minnesota?
Minnesota is...
It's another...
Well, what's in Minnesota? What state? What city? I mean...
Like...
Detroit's in Michigan.
Yeah. Isn't there a state in Minnesota, or is it Michigan that's the high... I don't fucking know.
Yeah, there's a state in Minnesota. It's called Minnesota.
No, city of Minnesota, I meant to say. Hon, can you beer me?
Yeah, I don't know that it's a dangerous city in Minnesota.
Maybe it's
Minneapolis.
Maybe it's Michigan. Can you give me a beer, hon?
Well, Michigan has Detroit.
Well, what about Seattle?
That's another libtard.
Yeah, Washington. Yeah, I mean,
listen, the states may be red, but the cities are blue because
but those states were blue.
Because no, I'm talking about those ones. I'm talking about the ones where he's saying 40% crime is up 40% in the MAGA states, where he doesn't state what states they are and what cities, because the city is probably ran.
Yeah, but here's my thing.
And like Janine said, like the governor doesn't control the mayor and the police captains and the police, whoever the police chief is. If they have bullshit ass ideas, the governor can go, hey, listen, your ideas are crap.
My thing is, though, if I'm a DA and I'm on Fox and Mike Jarek says to me, 1,000 people were shot or killed in 20 months, I'm not going to go, it's working, and I'm not going to blame MAGA. I'm going to take responsibility and say, here's what I'm doing.
Well, even like I said, with him blaming.
But he doesn't take any responsibility. He's not accountable for nothing.
Well,
he just blamed everybody else.
Well, like I said, when he blamed the NRA and the Republicans and the NRA, the NRA
take some.
What's in this going on in this city right now has nothing to do with the NRA. It's not legal gun owners running around. It's also like I know you didn't play it, but I sent you a clip of Sonny from The View going, the biggest threat in this country is white supremacy. Well, tell that to the people of Philly. If white supremacy was actually going on, if this was white supremacist blown, they would be handled by the people in the city.
Right. Exactly.
If there was white supremacy as bad as they're trying to make it seem, it would be handled in these inner cities because those white people that were white supremacists would get their asses handed to them and probably shot because
those white supremacists were too scared to go down the city. They won't go down there.
Yeah, there'll be retribution.
Yeah.
But the communities in all these cities aren't worried about white supremacy. They're worried about their neighborhoods and the people that live in it.
Right.
Because they're the ones
kids getting killed.
Yeah. They're the ones that are causing all the problems. I mean, it was the scrimmage, 14-year-old kid died.
Who did they find out who did it?
I don't know. They have video.
Was it the other team? Did they bring guns to the scrimmage?
I don't know if it was the other team or like fans from the other team or,
Who does that?
When there's nobody holding you accountable, a lot of people are doing it now.
That kid tackled my son. I'm going to shoot him.
I mean, my daughter goes to Temple every weekend. 2 times a week, there's a shooting within her area, and they're locked down.
Stupid.
And then you had all the kids ransacking the Wawa.
Where was that?
That was in Philly.
Oh.
I'm sure nobody, we're looking for the people.
Did you see the girl at the counter wondering why her sandwich was taking so long? Did you see that video?
Yeah.
Can you hurry up with my sandwich?
She's like, are you still making sandwich? Like, I don't know if she was like somebody who wanted a sandwich already and all this was going on, or she was like, well,
I think she already ordered it. Yeah, it's taking too long.
The guy's like, yo, what do
you see what's going on behind you there?
Yeah.
It was funny.
And listen.
Crime does pay, I guess.
You got Wolf. He ain't doing shit. He's making stuff up. Remember the soda tax we should be having, with Mayor Kenny? You know what I mean? Like all these progressive ideas. Oh, full all-day kindergarten with the soda tax. How's that working out? You're making millions of dollars of probably a year just on the soda tax. There's the child daycare and everything. Full day daycare or kindergarten is probably trash.
Well, I don't think they made any money on it because everybody left the city to go buy their soda.
Well, you got some people.
Everybody who lived around the outskirts of the city all left.
Probably walked out.
Well, they went to the.
What I'm just saying, you have Kenny.
They went to the counties around the surrounding counties to buy their.
You have Mayor Kenny. Soda. He's shitty. You have Krasner. He's shitty.
Notice he doesn't say shit anymore.
Yeah, well, he's done. He knows it. You have Wolf. He's a shitbag. You got Josh Shapiro, who's the attorney general of this state. He's a shitbag because he's not doing anything either. Like, he's another one. Should hold these district attorneys accountable. Nah. And like I said about the opioids, you know what I mean? They'd let it go on under Kensington Avenue because they need the funding.
They need the money, yep.
And again, listen, I'm not a fan of Oz, but whatever. He's got to be better than this guy.
I'm a big fan of Oz now.
He's got to be better than this guy.
All right, so here's a interview with Fetterwoman.
Yeah.
I'm John Fetterwoman.
If you had a magic wand and you could wave it and fix one thing, what would it be?
Life without parole in Pennsylvania. We could save billions in revenue long term. We could save thousands of lives and not make anyone less safe.
If you had a magic...
Whoa. How do you save thousands of lives by letting criminals out of jail? Answer me that.
I don't know. I mean, if you're a third strike offender in drug offenses, all right, I'll let you out.
This is where I would want my money to go, to keep criminals in jail.
Yeah, nonviolent criminals.
I'll pay for that.
Yeah. But this is what they've been doing.
And life without parole? This
is what they've been doing. They've been letting these people out since Corona because they wanted the things were overcrowded and people were dangerous. We're all going to die.
Most people would say end world hunger. If you can wave a magic wand. No, I'm going to...
well, and I know like
criminals.
There's a bunch of stuff like he was running with the... apparently there's a big like Crips contingency in his... Braddock, so he was using them, and then like she just said about the Black Lives Matter, but now he's like he's kind of changing his tune because he's trying to get those independents and the swing voters because he's like, we got to get Congress out of the stock market, we got to do this on healthcare and all this, he's trying to move away from what.
Well, yeah, but once he gets in Congress, he's gonna fucking
go back to what he was doing.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Listen, he's a rich kid too. You know what I mean? He wants all this Congress insider trading. You know what I mean?
Right. He's jealous of Hunter Biden.
Yeah. Well,
he wants to be Hunter.
Yeah, he's jealous of. Well, he probably is Hunter because he's another rich kid who didn't have a job until his mid-40s when he took over I'm the mayor of Braddock, and Dr. Oz went the last 2 hours in my town.
It's like being the mayor of 7-Eleven, the mayor of Braddock.
Yeah.
That's like he's got a little less pull than Mayor McCheese.
I guess. And the sad part is that this is what's going on in all these states is there is this fight and it's of choice. Like I saw people talking about how, Oz is against, they're taking a clip of Oz saying where he's against abortion. No, he's not. Maybe up to a certain point. He's like, well, after this trimester, it's murder, but he's not against it. He's against like, hey, we ripped a baby out and you could still kill it. I mean, I can get behind him on that. You know what I mean? So, but they're trying to make it like, well, you know what I mean?
I think abortion is a slippery slope. And the problem is,
no, it definitely is.
If you're a conservative and you want to end abortion, but, a lot of conservatives are like, Joe Biden actually said it a long time ago when he said it, I thought pretty well when he said rare and safe.
Yeah.
And that's how they should be, rare but safe. And I don't know how I feel about. I mean, I don't want to see anybody dead, so I got a problem with it. But that 10-year-old girl supposedly that was raped and then she was pregnant. That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that I would err to the side of not murdering an innocent life. That's all I know.
Yeah,
I would hate to have to make that decision because I don't know what I would do.
I'm just saying their talking point, almost like you're showing these ads and then you're like, oh, well, Dr. Oz is against abortion. And people that may not know what he actually said might be like, well, I'm for that. So I even like him. I can respect that even more when it's like, well, you're playing into the people that are like, well, I'm not into abortion either. So I can appreciate what he's saying.
I think 90% of this country doesn't want to kill babies.
No, but it's probably higher than that.
But there's a lot of people who are unsure about how to handle certain situations.
Yes.
And that's where the conversation needs to be. But you're not allowed to have the conversation because they're too busy just trying to destroy you. But I got to tell you, these liberals and Democrats who are in office right now, there's no talking to them. There's no communicating. There's no bipartisanship.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing like that. There's no working together. There's nothing like that. And, Joe Biden is happier than hell. And I say this with,
All due respect.
all due respect to the people in Florida and the things that are going on there. But Joe Biden's happy about it.
Oh, yeah.
All these liberals are happy about it. They're damn happy it happened to Florida. And they're damn happy that they can use it to tout their global warming bullshit.
Yeah.
But Joe Biden has to act. He can't turn his back on Florida. He's got to help them. And I don't even know that he's doing anything. I mean, I haven't heard.
Like, I know DeSantis, he already had, like, other states, the line workers down there, you know what I mean? Utility line workers. He already had 40,000 of them down there. Like, he was already prepared. So it's not like
New York and New Jersey waited till after.
Yeah, he wasn't waiting.
We're going to send 12 guys.
I think they already raised like $10 million. I mean, that's $10 million doesn't seem like a lot, but within 24 hours, they raised $10 million to help the families.
How about giving the $11 billion to Florida? Help rebuild our country.
Well, how's Kentucky when that tornado hit last year? Did we ever fix that? Remember the Kentucky?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did Joe ever go? I mean, Joe was there. Did he ever fix it?
He was too busy getting yelled at. All right, I want to talk. We're going to go, but I want to talk about I want to talk some transgender stuff and how they're grooming our children in the next episode.
Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
Well, we can get to that too.
Listen, everybody, hit the links. Patriot Podcast Network on Roku. I got confused. Patriot Cigar Company is in the links now too. 15% off. There's 4 different styles. Make sure you get them if you're a cigar smoker.
I'm a joker.
Or you enjoy a nice whiskey and
I'm a midnight toker.
A cigar with the boys out at the strip club.
I get my lovin' on the run.
Or you have a bachelor party coming up. First Warrior, Patriotic Apparel. Outlawed 10 at the checkout. You'll get 10% off your total. Hats, sweatshirts, t-shirts, stickers, some other things. Redcon 1. Get your sweatshirts, your hoodies, all your supplements, protein powders, pre-workouts, some fat burners if you need it. And that's T20 Sanders in the tier operator code. There is a big weekend discount of 35%. If you spend $60, you get free shipping.
Wow.
That link is in the bio also.
Impressive.
And all our show links are in the bio. So if you don't see us on YouTube, you can now watch the videos on Spotify. So that's fun. And as always, follow, like, and share. And
love thy neighbor.
Leaves a thumbs up. Comments are appreciated. And we love to hear it.
Okay.
After all that nonsense, we'll see you on the next one.
See you on the next episode. Orange Man out.
So long, gay boys.